Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to be doing part 2 of why I left Humboldt. And I just want to say this, like I really regret leaving Humboldt because it's beautiful there. I just love the energy and I love the trees, I love the ocean, the dunes are really pretty. If you haven't been there, I definitely go there. But yeah, so let's get caught up on the story. So if you haven't seen part 1, I'd probably go watch it. It's in my videos. But this is part 2. So I'm gonna do like a little bit of a recap before we start. So basically, I was couch surfing on my friend Brandon's couch. My brother was also sleeping at the house, so I wasn't alone. And then Brandon took me to this party, and at this party, I met this girl named Jackie, and I stayed at Jackie's cabin for 2 weeks. And then after that, Rick, the owner of the land, he was like, "I don't want you sleeping in your car, so you could sleep in um, my room behind the kitchen." And then after that, I moved into the band room. So now we're caught up. Okay, so basically this story is why I left Humboldt. I regret leaving Humboldt. I remember crying the day I left because I didn't want to leave. I was holding this redwood tree and I was just like bawling my eyes out because I was like, I don't want to leave, but I had to leave because it was just like not a good environment. And I want to say this, Rick had nothing to do with it. He's a sweetheart, okay? That guy was like my grandpa. But like other shit happened. So basically, I moved out of that one room. It was like not even a room. It was like a small slither of like a room. And it was behind the kitchen and it wasn't like the wall had like a little like opening in it. So you could still hear people like walking around if like people were in the kitchen and there was like no door on it. I don't know why I decided to sleep in that room, and it was like a huge mistake because I got the Humboldt hack. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically you breathing in mold. Uh, and everyone calls it the Humboldt hack because like people who aren't from there, they'll get it because they're not used to like breathing in mold, and of course it's not healthy for you. I told Rick about that. I was like, "Hey, there's mold in your house, and I don't think you should be breathing it." But I don't think he uh spent any money to fix the problem. I think it's the same thing. Um, but yeah, so I was sleeping in that room. I was breathing in mold. I had a really horrible cough. And I was like, I can't sleep in here anymore because it was like cold. I had a bad cough. I had like a portable heater, but like even that, like it wasn't enough. So I told Rick, I was like, how about I sleep in the band room? And he was like, yeah, you could sleep there. So the band room is basically what it sounds like. It's a room full of band junk. There's wires, there's amps, there's a freaking drum set, there's guitars, like you name it. Every instrument known to man is in that band room, right? It was like a sorry. It was like a little like square of a room, and I moved in there. And when I moved in there, there were like wires all over the floor, right? And I thought to myself, this doesn't look organized in any particular way, so I'm going to push the wires on the side of the room so I could put down this like little, it was like a little foam mattress that Rick had, and he like lent it to me so I could like lay on something comfortable. So I moved that in. I moved all my stuff into the room. And I was sleeping there for a few nights, and then Rick told me that I think it was like every Tuesday or every Thursday the band would come over and play. So I would have to move my stuff out during those days. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So one day, I guess this was like the first time I had ever like moved in there. I went to work, right? Sorry, there's something like in my eye and it was like bugging me. Ah. Okay, so I went to work, and when I was at work, I came home and I guess they had like moved my stuff, and I got into an argument with like one of the guys, and I forgot his name, but guys, like I did not like this dude. He really thought that like I was a bad person. Like he just like we did not vibe and we fought a lot, right? So this guy was like really good friends with my brother, and he had like a girlfriend too, so she would come by. I was fine with the girlfriend, I didn't care, but like I just didn't like this guy in particular because he was like 26. He was really immature, and if I had to describe his like personality, he was like a a dog without a fucking leash on. And I know that sounds weird, but like that's how I describe this guy because he was just crazy. um but yeah, so one day I come home all my stuff is moved. No one told me, and like they just like threw my shit on the floor. So it kind of made me mad, right? And then he comes up to me and he's like, "Why did you move all the wires?" I was like I don't know. So basically the wires, the way I saw it, I saw the wires just like all over the place. Like they were unorganized, like they had nothing, like they were just bad, right? But he didn't see it that way. He was like, "Oh, you unplug them, you move them. These wires are supposed to go into certain things." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, but like they were in the way." And to me, it just seemed like they were thrown on the floor carelessly, right? Like this room was really messy. So he got mad about that, and we were like arguing about it. It was really bad. And like I just got really annoyed because like I would come home from work and sometimes they would move my stuff without my permission, and like it was toxic. It was just bad, right? And so another reason I didn't like this particular person was because one time during Thanksgiving, my friend Jackie and Joe, they had like a Thanksgiving party at the house, right? And it was a lot of white people. Nothing wrong with that. I'm white. I'm half white. I'm half white, half Chinese. And so it was a lot of white people, but it was weird because okay, look, I'm not going to judge people for what they prefer like when it comes to like dating, but it was just really weird. So all her friends are polyamorous, right? So that means they date multiple different people. And yeah, I guess that will just tell you how the party was. So it was really uncomfortable for me, my brother, and his friends, right? And so this was when my boyfriend had came to the house, right? And we wanted to get away from everyone because we were like, this is fucking weird. Like, this is a weird ass party. And like, my brother and me were like looking at each other like, what the fuck is going on? Let's just say people were kissing people and I was like not about it. I was like, nope. Like everyone had their clothes on, but like you could just feel the tension in the room. Like it was just awkward and strange. So I decided to go into the band room with my boyfriend at the time. I go in the band room and we're just sitting there. We're literally eating food, right? And the guy who I do not like, who argued with me, comes into the room thinking that we're like trying to hook up or something. And he's like, "What are you guys doing in here?" And I'm like, "We're eating." Like, clearly we're fully clothed and we're eating. Like, what do you think we're doing? Like, and he was like, "Well, the band's starting, so you gotta get out soon." And I was like, "Oh, okay, like, what the fuck?" Like, so we just got up and, like, left, because we were like, what the fuck is wrong with everyone here, right? Because I really think this guy thought that we were gonna try to do something in the band room, and I'm like, no, like, why would I do that when there's, like, 30 fucking people at this party? Like, I'm not like that, like, I'm not, you know? And so me and my boyfriend, we leave, we get a hotel because we're like, fuck this place, like we're out. And I wasn't mad about Rick or anyone else. Like it was just that one person in particular that I did not like at all. And I was like, oh, like I just hate that guy. And that guy's from SoCal. He's from Hemet, California. I'm not gonna say his name. I don't even remember his fucking name. But it was just like so awkward. And I'm like, why would you think that we were gonna be doing stuff in there? Like, no, dude. But yeah, so we left the party. The party was hella weird. And after that, I guess that was like one incident that had happened at the house. And another incident is like something really, really crazy. So let me introduce you guys to Fallon. So Fallon is quite a character, if I do say so myself. So Rick met her at the casino. I think it was like either his birthday or her birthday. And so he met her at the casino. I guess they were like gambling or something. And when they met, they like hit it off instantly. And I think it's because he's a Leo and she was like a Taurus. So they got along, even though they had like a 30-year age difference. So mind you, Rick's wife recently died and he's been like single for 2 years. And so he was trying to get another boo thing, and Fallon just so happened to come into his life. So the thing about Fallon is that she's batshit crazy, and she's a stripper. But yeah, so let me talk about Fallon. So Fallon grew up in like foster homes, and this is what Rick told me. So all my information came from Rick. But yeah, so she grew up in foster homes. She had a really hard life. She has like a few children, but she doesn't have custody of them because she's not like the best mother. Like I don't know why she doesn't have custody of them, but she just doesn't have custody of her children. She has like 5 kids. I don't know how many kids. I don't know. But she has children that she can't see. Um but yeah, so that's the situation. And I guess she had it like really rough growing up. So every time she sees like a woman or like okay, like anytime she sees any female at all, she gets really really jealous and territorial, and she will fight you. Like she is crazy. Um Rick was telling me how she like used to strip at like strip clubs, and they would kick her out because she couldn't handle being around other women. Like she would get too jealous, she would start fights, like it was just bad, right? But I feel bad for her. Like I feel bad that she grew up in like foster homes, but at the same time, like I had a rough childhood and I didn't come out like a shitty person. Like you know what I mean? I'm basically just saying like even though you had a shitty childhood doesn't mean you need to be a really bad person. But in her case, like it didn't work out that way. Like she's just a bad person. Um and that's fine. Like she just needs to work on herself mentally. Um but yeah, so they met at the casino and then they hit it off. They started dating on and off because it was a toxic relationship. She would fight him, she'd beg him for money because Rick's like a retired US history teacher, so he gets a pension every month. So he makes pretty good money doing nothing. He's just retired, living his life. So Fallon would always say to Rick, "Oh, Rick, would you marry me? Rick, would you marry me?" And Rick would always say, "I'm not marrying you, but we can date. Like, we can be those kind of friends, if you know what I mean." Uh, but yeah, so that's kind of their relationship. And I was always like really worrisome about meeting Fallon because I had heard really, really crazy stories about her. So the first time I ever heard about her was from Jackie and Joe. And Jackie told me one time Rick and her like had gone out for like a friendly lunch date just to hang out, right? And so they're like, "Fallon, do you want to come with us?" And Fallon's like, "No, I don't want to come," right? And so they go to the place without her, and they're eating their food, and she comes up and she's like, why are you guys eating together? Like she gets really jealous. She's cussing at Jackie, calling her horrible names, the W word, the H word, you name it, right? And so she's cussing at Jackie, and they're like, "What the hell?" Because like we invited you, why are you getting mad, right? And so they're like, "Whatever." So she leaves, she storms off, and they finish their lunch, and when they get home, um Fallon had broken every single window in Rick's house, and I could like account for this because when I was cleaning out that little room behind the kitchen wall, there was still like glass on the floor. But by the time I had moved in, they had replaced every window in his house, right? Um, so yeah, that happened. And then they also told me that Fallon would punch Rick. Like one time they got into a fight. I don't know why they got into a fight, but all I know is that it ended up with Rick like bleeding on his top of his head. She broke his glasses, and Jackie like cussed her out because she was just like she was totally in the wrong. Like she beat up an old man, guys. Like I don't know why she did it. Like she's just really crazy. But yeah, so that happened. And this was all before I had came here. And they were telling me stories about her. And they're like, if you see a red Jeep, that's her car. And I was like, oh God, like I was scared, right? And so the day comes, I get off work and I pull up. I pull up to the house and I see the red Jeep. And I was like, ugh. Like I got scared. So I see the red Jeep and I'm like, okay, Brianna, there's two ways this can go, either really good or really bad. And so I walk inside because, my stuff's inside. I just got off work. I'm tired. I want to shower. I want to change. I want to relax, right? It's been a long 8 day of me standing there and cashiering people at Wildberries. I'm tired. So I go over there and I see her and I'm like, she has brown hair. She looks kind of like, kind of tan. I think she might be like white and Latino, but I don't know. But I see her and I'm like, "Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Brianna," right? And I thought everything was okay, but it wasn't. As soon as I said that, she started arguing with Rick, and she was like, "Who the fuck is this?" Like blah 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 blah. Just like, what is this bitch doing here? Like just, calling me horrible names. Like, I don't know this girl. I've never met her, but I'm like, "Oh my god." So I like run to my room. I hide in the band room, and I just hear her cussing at Rick, and they're fighting, and then she like leaves, right? And so that was the first time I had ever met her, but then I got kind of used to her being around, right? And the thing that really makes me mad about this situation is that Fallon had thought that me and Rick had something going on, and I'm like, no, dude, like, no, like, that's disgusting. Like, I feel bad saying that, like, but I see Rick as my friend. I see him as my grandpa figure. Like, I don't see him that way. Like, I'm not attracted to this guy at all, right? I have a boyfriend, and I told her that. I was like, Fallon, I have a boyfriend. Like, there's nothing going on. You need to stop being fucking crazy, right? Because she would just say crazy shit all the time. But yeah, so another time she was sleeping over. She was in Rick's bedroom because they had done stuff. And so Rick had woken up before her, and I was like, "Oh, Rick, is Fallon here?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "How about we go make her pancakes?" Because I was like, "Let's go be nice, right?" And so he's like, "That's a great idea." So there's like an exit off his house. So it's like maybe like a mile or so away, not really far. And we go there. We get pancake mix, we get syrup, butter, we get strawberries, we get bananas, everything you need for a pancake. We come home, and she had noticed that we were gone. I don't know how, but like when I got there, I started cooking the pancakes, and then she came out of the room, and she proceeded to call me an Asian whore. She's like, "Why were you out there with that Asian whore?" And I was like, "What the fuck?" I was making pancakes, and guys, like, like, I was gonna say something to her. I was really gonna say something to her, but I was like, don't say anything. It's not worth it, right? Because I was like, I don't want to get Rick mad. I don't want to get kicked out. Like, I need this house, right? But she goes off on us. She's yelling at us. She's screaming at us. And I just like kind of hid in my room. And then like once they were done talking, Rick kind of like, I don't know what Rick did, but he like walked away, and then Fallon like left the house. She like drove off in like a huff. And then once she was gone, we like sat down and ate pancakes, and he was like, "I'm really sorry about Fallon." Like, he kept apologizing to me, and I'm like, "Dude, it's okay." And I told him, I was like, "You're like 60. She's 35. She could hurt you, Rick. Like, you need to be really careful." And I kept telling him that. I was like, "She's toxic. She's bad for you. Like, you don't need this in your life. Your wife wouldn't want this, right?" Because that's how I truly feel. I care about my friend. He's a really good person, and he does not deserve this, right? And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I know, I'll stop talking to her." And he told me that, and like for a while she like stopped showing up, but like once I had like left, I guess she came back. So when I was leaving the house, my boyfriend picked me up, and he took me back to SoCal, and I had left a lot of my art pieces there, right? So remember what I told you? I told you guys that Rick's house was covered in art from like artists all over Humboldt County, myself included, my friend Brandon too. And I guess when I was leaving, I forgot those pieces. I forgot my dragon painting. I forgot my television painting. I forgot this black and white painting too. And I don't know what happened, but like maybe a few months had like passed. So it had passed, right? And then I heard about it like on social media. Like one of my friends had posted about being angry that she had destroyed his artwork. And I was like, whoa, 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 wait a minute. I was like, why did no one tell me about this? And so I messaged Jackie, and I'm like, "Hey, did Fallon destroy artwork?" And she's like, "Yeah, that happened a while ago." And I'm like, why am I the last one to know about this? And I was pissed because I was like, she destroyed my artwork. She destroyed like maybe 3 or 4 paintings of mine. Like, my paintings are my babies. Like, I don't think you guys understand, right? And I got so mad because I was like, ooh, like this girl, she has the nerve to call me names, not even get to know me. She's just a horrible person. And she destroyed my artwork. So I was like, you crossed the line, bitch. You crossed the fucking line. So if I see you in the street, Fallon, you're gone. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. This is a joke, okay? But I was just mad because like if you make something and you put your like whole self into it and someone destroys it, it's like a huge to you, you know? Like you guys, like if you're an artist, you'll probably understand, but if you're not an artist, like you probably won't understand. But I hope it makes sense so that you guys can understand. But yeah, that happened and I was just so angry. But yeah, so it's fine. I don't hate Rick. I don't hate Fallon, but like I really want her to pay me back for those paintings. Like they're 1,000 each. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, that was like it just made me mad. And she like destroyed other people's artwork too. And I'm like, what kind of human being does that? And the whole like the funniest part about this whole thing, guys, is that she's studying to be a nurse. So since she's a foster kid, she gets free college education. And like honestly, I really do not think she should be a nurse because like she just should not. Like she's very jealous. I would worry about the patients. I would worry about her abusing the patients. And like I really don't want her to be a nurse. Like she's in nursing school right now, but that like concerns me because that's just like really bad. But those are all the reasons why I left Rick's house. It wasn't because of Rick. I still talk to him. We're still cool. So it was basically because of that one guy in the band room drama and then Fallon. And it sucked like living there in that environment, but like when she wasn't there, it was peaceful as hell. Like it was nice. Like I had no Wi-Fi there, so I would paint, I would draw, I would read a lot. It was a really good time in my life and I want to go back there one day and actually have a place of my own once I'm more like stable in life. But for now, I'm not as stable. Um but yeah, that's my goal. Either go somewhere in Oregon and live there forever, somewhere green, somewhere near the ocean, or go back to Humboldt or Seattle or Washington. Like, I don't know where I want to go. I just want to go somewhere where it's trees and nature. That's my goals. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're homeless right now, I pray to God that you have someone looking out for you. I pray that you can find really kind people like Rick, Jackie, and Joe. Because I really do feel like God was watching me. I feel like God knew I was scared. I felt like he put these people in my life for a reason. And I'm very thankful for that. Like, I still am friends with Jackie and Joe too. And I'm really thankful for you guys. Like, thank you so much. I don't know if you guys are ever going to see this video, but like, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Rick, too. Like, you are amazing. Like, I love these people. But I hope you have guardian angels watching over you. And I hope that you get out of being homeless because it's hard. Like, I know I wasn't like technically homeless, but like, it was scary being on my own and I need to get out of my comfort zone more. Like I understand like what it feels like not to be able to shower and stuff. Like it's scary. It's hard. Life is hard, guys. But I hope you have a good day. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry like I'm weird and sometimes it's like broken. Like I do not have video editing skills at all. So like what you see is like all the first take. But have a great day, guys. Be positive, be happy, and yeah, goodbye. Bye.